how would you describe DALRO? What is it?
At the moment, it feels like a 55-year-old who's just been chased out of home to
Okay.
start to start a new
All
life.
right, okay.
Yeah. Well, the way I see DALRO is really as a facilitator, as a middle entity, as an agent for rights holders to protect their intellectual property, but also as a facilitator of use. We pride ourselves in making the lives of users easier in their day-to-day work at higher institutions of higher learning, corporate entities, through ourselves and our partners in various areas.
Yeah, and those partners are very wide ranging. I mean, Bongani has also mentioned the fact that, I mean, and the video was speaking about that you're catering to visual artists, to writers, outside of only the scope of university usages.
Yeah, we cater for visual artists, we cater for literary authors, and for dramatic and playwriters, of course. But the users are also quite varied. As you can imagine, the users vary from educational places to corporates to individuals who may want to utilize, to auction houses in the arts, to museums and galleries. So it's quite varied.
I mean, we speak about how varied it is, and I actually, having you heard my background is in theater, and my first interaction with DALRO was as a high school student doing a musical and having a DALRO script in my hand. So, I mean, that's quite a varied basis. You're dealing with schools, to universities, to auction houses, to museums, to advertisers who want to put things on billboards. So I think it's a very interesting place to be holding this licensing ecosystem across the country. Can you tell us more about who makes up DALRO? So tell us about some of the board members.
Okay, we've got a very small and agile board, and most of them are here today, but they represent the rights holders that we also represent. There's Mr. Brian Wafaroa, who's the chairman of the Publishers Association of South Africa, PASA, but he's also the CEO of Juta Publishers. And we've got Mili Sutando Bongela. I don't know if Mili Sutando has arrived yet. Who's a writer, as a filmmaker, and a journalist. So represents that community of authors. And we've got Professor Ngubani, who's the chairman of the board, and he is an author, and in the indigenous language author, and professor at the University of UKZN. I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone. And we've got Jared Sinman, who's the a digital publisher and a marketing person who's unfortunately not here today.
It's quite a broad representation in that board, and I'm sure they all bring
and we're hoping to bring on more people to represent the visual arts, which is currently not represented on the board. That will change soon.
So you mentioned, and we were alluding to the fact that we're here for a moment, aren't we? The DALRO's gone through a seismic shift in many ways. Do you want to talk a little bit about what that shift has been and what has brought us here?
Yeah, as I said, Dad said, "You're over 50, go away."
Okay.
And we've literally had to find our feet and are starting a new chapter. Change of ownership, a change of shareholding. So from being owned previously by the previous shareholder, who's a music rights organization, to being represented and owned by the people that you represent. And as our new partners, shareholders now, we have VANZA, the Visual Arts Network of South Africa. We've got the Publishers Association of South Africa, who's also now, and the ANFASA, which is the Academic and Non-Fiction Writers Association of South Africa. So those are the new shareholders of DALRO.
And I think what opportunities are presented by having this this change in ownership and this opportunity to open your wings up in a new way as an organization?
I think first of all, for me, the creator comes first. That's the opportunity to be that close to the creators, to the people that give us the content and the works that we represent, for them to have a say in what we do is a great opportunity, because without them, we really are not going to go anywhere.